guys, this is American Eye, bringing you another great video. Ever since the creation of the United States, people have moved around for new opportunities, the thrill of something different, and to find gold. But in modern times, people are packing their bags and heading elsewhere because they don't like dealing with unfair taxes in their states. Many places we're about to mention on this list are on here because they're too cold, too expensive, and just flat out not a great place to live anymore. From the Golden State all the way over to the Empire State, here are states that people are abandoning fast. Number 10. Connecticut. Connecticut is situated on the eastern coast of the United States and certainly has the good and bad things about living there. Here you got Ivy League schools like Yale, green pastures, and beautiful beaches during summertime. The bad side, rising crime, high taxes, expensive real estate, and frigid weather during winter. New Haven has become one of the most troubled areas in the state and has one of the highest crime rates in the country. Some of America's toughest gangs surprisingly live in the northeastern seaboard town of Hartford. The chances of being a victim of property crime here is about 1 in 10. Between the years of 2016 and 2017, Connecticut lost 13,166 people, a majority of them being older, wealthier residents who possibly got tired of people skateboarding on their sidewalks. In any case, the politicians here haven't necessarily made it easier for the boomer generation to retire. They're now preferring to move to warmer climates to live the rest of their days. People have been moving from this small state at a record rate, but people still tend to move here primarily if they found a new job. It's also kind of hard to move here when all the colleges are really expensive as well. Number 9. Kansas. It probably shouldn't come as a huge surprise that people are trying to move out of Kansas. Other than tornadoes and corn, it's unclear exactly how much the state has to offer. It still came as a little bit of a shocker though to some state officials when they noticed that the population had decreased for the 5th year in a row. The majority of people who moved from the state claimed that it was because of a job. Many other people had noted that they didn't like the feeling of being landlocked and so far away from either ocean. Some people still claim that it's a good state to raise their kids, but as more and more people are getting the heck out of Kansas, jobs are beginning to decrease there as well. They're gaining some people as a result of international migration, which is a bright side. From 2010 to 2013, Kansas had lost 10,000 American citizens, but it gained 16,000 immigrants. But it's only been downhill since then, and even the newcomers are going to realize that there really isn't that much to do in Kansas. From 2016 to 2017, they lost a whopping total of 13,159 people. Number 8. Maryland. There certainly seems like some cities in Maryland have seen better days, especially in the formerly prosperous town of Baltimore, which apparently has a rat infestation problem now. Rats don't make for good postcards and makes it less appealing to move to. Although there certainly seems to be some struggles in other areas, the Ocean City area of Maryland has had a steady population and is located on the beach. Its population has stayed at about 7,000 people for the past 20 years now. The 2015 protests about the questionable police treatment of African-American Freddie Gray led to all-out riots and aggressive property damage. Maryland also has the highest rate of Lyme disease on the East Coast because of the large amount of fleas that inhabit the area. You also have to deal with loud cicadas too. Since the state is so close to Washington, D.C., the state gets a ton of traffic and a rise in the cost of living. From 2016 to 2017, Maryland lost 16,438 people. Number 7. Massachusetts. Located quite close to a few states on this list is Massachusetts on the East Coast, and they're losing a lot of residents. It appears to be primarily the millennials and the boomer generation who are packing their bags and heading elsewhere. Between the years of 2016 to 2017, Massachusetts lost 21,133 residents, according to BusinessInsider.com. The main reason why people apparently want to leave this state was to look for a different job. A lot of people have complained about Boston becoming too expensive to live there anymore, and why pay all the extra money to live somewhere where it's freezing. Some people might just want to move here because they're Tom Brady fans and they just enjoy the oceanside. But others have raved about moving out of this small, overpopulated state and feel like it was a great decision to head down south. If you're a dog owner, this isn't the best place to live either, ranking 45th lowest, not allowing dogs in the stores or all kinds of places. People have also gotten a bad rep here for being rude and disorderly, so watch out. Plus that accent and the high rates of depression, yikes. Number 6. Hawaii. It might be your dream to move to the Hawaiian Islands, but even if you can afford to live there, you might not necessarily be welcome and you might change your mind. Housing prices have already gone through the roof, making it next to impossible to have an average paying job and live somewhere. The state ranks 43rd for education, and private schools here are extremely unaffordable. The average price for a single-family home on the island of Oahu was $795,000, and for a condo, $415,000. You can partially thank Mark Zuckerberg for making the cost of living here more expensive after he purchased a whole lot of valuable land on the north shore of the island of Kauai. The traffic is also unbearable, and a typical 30-minute drive can easily turn into 2 hours. Also, if you're not a native Hawaiian, you'll typically be looked at as an outsider and not given a warm welcome. Other people who move there have complained about the lack of food diversity as well. pineapples can get annoying after too long. Number 5. Louisiana. Louisiana might be home to some fine southern cooking, but it's no longer home to 28,921 residents who fled the state between 2016 and 2017. There's no doubt that Hurricane Katrina caused a large displacement of people and still having an impact on the state. The city of New Orleans saw its population cut in about 5 years after the incident, going from 484,000 people to 230,000 people. Many people still claim that the main reason they're leaving the bayou is to find work, but you have to wonder how long someone can live in a big swamp and not feel the urge to move. Many people who've been displaced after Katrina have decided to stay in Texas. It's basically humid in Louisiana 365 days a year, which could make working outside all day extremely difficult. Others have looked into it and have noticed that they'll tend to get paid more for the same job in other states across the U.S. However, the constant fear of a natural disaster lurking around you might be uneasy for some staying in the Big Easy. Due to a high number of homeless and poverty, it's raised taxes for anyone trying to move there, and the obesity rate has reached 35%, which you would assume would make it hard for people to move. Number 4. New Jersey. If you run a moving business, it might be a good idea to move to New Jersey. Otherwise, you should probably just stay in your own state. Recently, a company called United Van Lines reported that they had a large clientele coming from the Garden State. A majority of people said it was for work, while a lot of people said it was for retirement. High property taxes and income taxes have pushed people away, and no one wants to come back. It's also been rated as the worst place to survive a zombie apocalypse in the US. It's one of the most densely populated areas in the world, and other than the shore, there doesn't seem to be too much to offer here than other coastal states. The police in New Jersey might also be another reason why people are getting out of town, especially in the cities like Camden. Many people here are hoping for some better opportunities and some warmer weather, with many former Jerseyans moving to Florida. A total of 69,278 residents fled New Jersey between the years of 2016 to 2017. Number 3. Illinois. It's not the weather anymore that people are using for their excuse to get out of Illinois. In recent years, people have fled this state during what's been known as a tax exodus, and the state government has been rather relentless to the residents. The best way for them to revolt is to simply leave. People who are earning a high income here in the state have to pay even more than ever before and are getting hit pretty hard. It also seems as though they don't want high income people in their state anymore. Don't be surprised if you see some Illinois license plates driving around your town. Many want to blame the corrupt politics as the cost of living. When the state becomes bankrupt, there's less money to pay the police and take care of problems. Parts of Chicago have been nicknamed Chirac due to the high crime rates. Maybe people like Al Capone could have stuck around and did a better job running the state. Many people predict that the problems here will only continue to get worse too. Many would still love to stay in Chicago, but can't imagine doing it as the quality of life here decreases. Number 2. California. Many people often dream about moving to California and picture themselves living in Malibu with a sports car and a beautiful wife. But it appears as though the California dream is starting to come to an end, with a poll showing 53% of Californians were considering a move in the near future. Out of those 53%, over 60% claimed it was because of the housing market, which has gotten ridiculously expensive. A seemingly normal-looking home that needs renovations in the Bay Area could easily sell for over $1 million. Traffic has also become a major issue, with people in that area reporting an average of 79 minutes per day in their vehicles. Los Angeles was also polled as the worst city for commuters, spending an average of 102 minutes getting where they need to go. Don't even get us started about the homeless problem, with people comparing Venice Beach to the zombie apocalypse. Between 2016 and 2017, a whopping total of 137,598 total residents abandoned California for a new beginning elsewhere. And before we get to our number 1, leave us your comment in the comments section and maybe we'll feature you in an upcoming video. And number 1, New York. Can you imagine moving somewhere and being expected to pay $250 a month just on your electric bill? You'd say, get out of town, right? Well, that's what New Yorkers are doing. And basically what they're doing is moving to more affordable places. 164,681 of them to be more precise, between 2016 and 2017. Many people here must spend well over $1 million for a permanent residence, but they'll get taxed up the wazoo with property taxes for just owning a property. It's really hard to consider it your land if you're tucked up and away in some claustrophobia-inducing high-rise apartment. People have noted that upstate New York has the highest property tax in the country, and for what? Some snow-covered cottages with not that much going on? The poor job market also isn't making things any easier, with many New Yorkers deciding to head south to states like West Virginia, Kentucky, or Florida. The simple cost of just existing in Manhattan is at least $4,000 a month. The bankers and politicians are going to charge everyone an arm and a leg until they're finally the only ones living there anymore. Hey guys, if you haven't noticed already, we're almost at 1 million subscribers, so remember to smash that subscribe button.